Good afternoon. What's going on, everybody? A few minutes left till close. Not much going on at close. We got all the action out of the way earlier. All the action out of the way. Some digestion going on. Should be interesting to see what happens tomorrow to continue what happened today. But let's see what happens in the last few minutes here. If we get some take profit or not. Haven't really seen anything yet. Thought we might be getting some over here, but haven't really seen much. Let's see. Like we're just gonna keep going here. Just gonna keep going. Not as fruity on this side. Not as fruity. Tech is just not as fruity. Small caps getting there. We have minute 40. Minute 40. Hey man, just woke up. Is there anything I can buy right now? Maybe. Some pretty cheap stuff out here. Just some stuff that hasn't really moved much. Some pretty cheap stuff. That's pretty cheap. Home builders were not getting any take profit, which makes managing this play. You just either you need to take profit right now on this play, or you're going to need to hold through any take profit tomorrow to push it through to Friday and over the weekend. So you need to make a decision right now. If you're up an ass load, just take the profit. If you're not going to be able to hold tomorrow, there's just no point, right? Something you need to do in the next 30 seconds here. Some of you are going, oh, well, I could hold through a few percent. No, you can't. You've got shit hands, not diamond hands. You have coal hands. You think you do, but you don't. So just take the money. Just take it home, right? Just take it home. Tiva, take it home. What are you going to do? You're going to hold it tomorrow? Gonna hold it? Minus 100 to 200. Like you did with CGC? Yeah, good job. You didn't even go break even here. I took off the marches. Didn't even break even. All right, that's it. She closed. Options stopped moving. They stopped moving. What a fucking day, boys. What a day. Holy moly. I got a lot to say today. I have a lot to say. Let me just... Whew. Nothing here. Let's see. Oh. Anything? A little bit. A little bit of orders got carried over. I was curious. Well, in the small caps. Think there's ever any after hours here. Nothing. All right. So, what the hell happened today, guys? Let's break it down. Today's an important day. Today's a really important day. And depending on how you played it, I think some of you that waited to be a little bit more reactionary actually did okay, probably. I talked a lot about preempting moves. Now, if you preempted things going into 2 o'clock, you definitely got paid. If you were already in positions from before, you got paid for continuing to push those on the values. I mean, on every side, but specifically the value side, because you were already up. You weren't losing much. You were already up on the day. Wow. Yeah. A lot of momentum came in, and a lot of it not so much on the underlying. Like if we go, so the Dow closed about 60 basis points higher, right? S&P 30 basis points. Small caps almost 1%, about 83 basis points. The Nasdaq almost 0.5%, almost there. A lot of supply to work through. So Dow still led, right? Dow was still leading through all-time high. S&P is right there as well, right? S&P is there, very close to the high. And then all of a sudden, of course, at 2 o'clock, we get everything from the Fed. FOMC comes out, dot plot comes out. Some people, some Fed members, obviously going to increasing sort of or changing up sort of their view a bit, and it looks like things are going to be going a little bit quicker, which was to be expected coming to today. And so we finally got confirmation of that, and also the way the market's reacting. The market reacted just as it knew it would, and that's always the funniest part, is that we're in this kind of weird reactionary position where we just want to wait until something happens and then instantly price it. And so we that's exactly what we did. Again, if we go look at you go look at any of these charts, you can see exactly when the moment happens, right? It's I mean, it's kind of silly to think about. I mean, it's not the most points in the world, but from here and then to the high up here is 0.5%, and we do that in like 15 minutes, like it's nothing, right? A whole bunch of money just moved in 15 minutes, even though we were already doing it. We opened higher, everyone already basically was pricing it, and what happened? I mean, who knows? People just kind of. It's sort of what I talked about before going into the event, that some things that you might want to just take profit on, which there's a lot of good examples of this today, but I mean, it's really hard to kind of screw this up. I mean, I can understand if you try to go chase this here and then now you're at break even, so now you don't know, right? It's really hard to manage a position if you entered anywhere in here. How are you going to manage that tomorrow if you have any take profit tomorrow? Like, now you feel silly, right? All you had to do is be in a position from before at any point, right? So anyway, we got confirmation from the Fed of rates. Rates are staying the same for a while, right? Powell keeps doing his thing, but it's going to be changing a lot quicker, because even the Fed is admitting to the fact that, okay, things are going a lot quicker than we thought originally. It's not that the plot changed very much, it's that it just changed at all. And it's significant in that sense. It's not that it changed by a lot, it's the fact that it changed altogether. The Fed never changes its fucking mind. When we look at where they think the inflation's going to be, looking at where they have the 2% into next year, and then how they have it sort of rolling off in 2023, that kind of thing, where they have switched it a little bit. The Fed never does that. I mean, they do it, but it's when they do it, it's significant, because they try not to do anything. They try to be right all the time. Every time they have an estimate, they try to be fucking correct. And so I think it matters. We'll see how it continues tomorrow. Again, we don't have much. We didn't really digest the move. We need everyone to be on the same page. You get an instant dollar move. It's really silly. I mean, again, I told you earlier, it's the same thing where the dollar's at a point, but it's really not there. It's like when you look at the spot VIX, it's not there, but it's not going to move either, right? So again, when I'm talking about it like the spot VIX, the VIX isn't going to move. It's just the implied volatility is out there. The spot VIX isn't going to move. It's just down there, but it's really not. We know volatility is higher than it is. We knew the dollar's lower than it is now. The dollar's just higher because of inflation expectations, right? But it's really lower than it probably was over here. If you think about the actual supply and demand, this is just an inflationary sort of state that it's in. So it's kind of silly that you get all of that movement at the same time. I mean, it's to be expected, and you can profit off it. That's the point. So let's just talk about some of the positions today that some of you like to call alerts. You got fucking paid if you bought anything. I mean, let's just be honest. You get paid. The home builders play, right? So right around here, around the open, I talked a little bit. Where's the open? Right over here. Wait, where the hell is it? It's this one right here. Yeah. Right around here, I started talking about. This is some important things, because I think it's hard to tell when confirmation is correct or not, and then there's times when it's really obvious that you get confirmation. So over here in open, I'm talking about home builders. We're talking about Z, and talking about some of the home builders in the way that it's possible that the Fed event confirming reinflation will send these charts towards the upside, because that's kind of what they're tied into. Even though these are sort of tied into, maybe it's not fully value, and maybe it's a little bit more growth on like the Z chart because of what it is, but a lot of these are tied to the spending factor, right? The sort of like how the industrials work, where it's how much spending happens, these charts will act accordingly due to the economic conditions, right? If the fucking economy is good, people buy houses, right? Whatever. You can use really simple ideas. It's over here. I'm talking about it. We put trades on, right? Put trades on, and then guess what? All of a sudden, you get confirmation. All of a sudden, 30 minutes later, we get confirmation here. It's so important to get something like this because it signals that if this idea is correct, right, you start to get paid on this idea, which again, this is a lot of fucking money here, guys. This is your one trade. You don't need much more. You get confirmation on this trade and this idea, and then all of a sudden, this is before 2 o'clock. This is well before 2 o'clock. That already eases a lot of my stress of going into 2 o'clock because there's some chances that, you know, things are not as they seem and you start to take profit on the move. And I even hinted to it that it's possible that we'll take profit after the move and we'll have to react accordingly. And so due to that bit of a tail risk, we might need to take profit on some things. If we didn't get some confirmation like this, I'm going to show other charts as well. If we didn't get this confirmation, then maybe I would have done that in a few other places. Maybe I would have a little bit, you know, taken profit on a little bit more moves. I talked about it on the Dow a little bit. It's possible that, you know, in here I would take profit on some short-term moves going into 2 o'clock because again, if we post a lower low, then the market is the market wrong? Well, the Dow chart has not been wrong. So the people trading over here have been correct most of the time. And so if we did post a lower low, then maybe I would have taken profit into 2 o'clock, right? On some of the short terms, like the March monthlies, right? But with some confirmation, you're able to push the trade, and that's where you're not watching P&L from that point. You're going confidence mode and going, let's fucking go, boys. I'm just better, right? And you go into that mind state, and then you get obviously another confirmation, 0.5% in 10 minutes after the big move from the Fed day, right? And so that's a good trade right there. That's just a good trade to look at some signals. And also, if we go into sort of what I was talking about this morning, which is going towards the fact that algos are going to have signals. When price gets to a certain point, they're going to start to buy. And so trying to preempt those, it always depends. It's a different look every single time, but it's trying to find that moment where it's a little dicey, it's a little preemptive, but if it gets to the point, you know everyone's going to want to buy it because you would be buying it, and it's using that time, that little bit of room in between. So, you know, we'll wait for a level to buy it, right? I'll say buy support, buy the break above the next level. If you know price is going to be moving that way, then just do it immediately. Take the trade now before that happens, because that gain from point A to point B just to get to where your normal entry would be is a significant amount of points. Now, we saw that on a lot of trades, right? We saw that on a lot of trades. I think one of the fun ones today was Tiva. In the Costa Nostra account, I dicked around and put some really stupid calls on just to prove a point. Just even buying that, right? You know this move is coming, so put it on. Don't wait. Don't wait for it. Put it on now. Why? Because the move that's going to happen here is going to just instantly price it, right? It doesn't all of a sudden just, or it doesn't like gradually start to climb up. No, it instantly prices it. So, you know, take advantage of that. And it's fun to dick around with something like this. Short-term trade, get in and out, right? In and out. I'm already out of the trade. So I put dumb contracts on yours. My main account was a little bit better putting 11s on. I put 12s on yours. Those fucking barely moved. Those were like 120% or something. The other ones are like over 200 or so, and they weren't losing value through every red candle. So that was a little bit better, but whatever. Another big trade was through travel. Travel was really difficult today because it was doing so well from the start. And so when you look at some of this, it's actually kind of it's a little confusing. So coming into today, right, we're pulling into support. This is the save chart. This is one of the ones that I think it did the best on. You're coming in and you're pulling into support. You want to be buying on support anyway, right? You want to be buying here. And so the only thing that holds you back from buying immediately is the fact that it's the Fed day and there's, you know, it's a little dicey to be buying immediately. And so here's the start of the day. So you could get involved, right? Now, if you remember from this morning, I was like, what are we doing here? And so I didn't take the first opening trade, which again, if I have a daily candle pulling in, I'm taking the trade. But I talked about it this morning. It felt a little weird. But on this trade over here, the second time we came back in, I took that trade again. This is about the same time that I took the home builder trades and we get confirmation. And it's the same time when the whole market started to actually get a little bit of energy. And then I would, during this whole point from like 10 to 11 is when I started hunting. It just was like, it was time to fucking hunt, go get into options and start to be a boogeyman in there. And so during all of this, everything kind of lined up well. And due to that bid from the start, you don't get bid here unless someone's fucking putting a position on. So whatever this take profit was and whatever that move was sort of across the market, screw it. Took those positions. This is a great trade here. This is a great trade to be able to go get back into travel. It's really difficult to figure out when to take these trades again. Again, we already took this trade over here. It's really hard to know when to buy more. I think today was a good example of a day to buy more, and I think it's probably a good lesson for a lot of you, because it's what do you do? How do you get back into these trades, right? That's a good example of one right there. That's a great trade. That pays for a lot, and that's that. Right now, you can go look at other travel charts. That's the one that I chose. The reason I use this is it's smaller. It moves a little bit more nimbly. It's quicker, right? It's a little bit quicker. AAL put fucking 8% on this gap here. It's a little difficult to go buy this right here. It's just a little difficult, right? It's just not. It's not the same damn thing, right? So when you look at these are all up, right? We're already long most of these positions, right? We're already long most of these positions. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna buy win into the fucking resistance right here, right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna buy this right here? It's not the same chart, right? It just doesn't feel as good, right? Not saying you can't do that and push it into the next day, but we want to be, if we're gonna take the opportunity to spend some money, then we're gonna put it into where we think we're gonna get the most, and it's not always gonna work out like that. But a lot of the times you can just look at the damn candles and say, okay, I got it. Another fun trade, Aqua Booty, right? The Aqua Booty at about 9:45 was a fun one, right? Why do we take this trade? I don't know. We had this candle here, and I said, this candle here, I'm like, all right, we just did this. If we can do this, then we can do more. So taking this trade, it is on the tail end of this candle, taking that trade. Why not? Why not take it, right? Why not take the trade? And this is a good example of things just not adding up. So this is not like a significant. This is not a significant trade or something, but using what we know about price and the way that candles are, it should never open like this and move like that. It should never look like that. That's just something people are just pricing wrong. Now, it's already on an uptrend. This was a bullish chart to begin with. I'll take that trade every time and push it every single time. So, it's over 8%. That's a lot of points, right? And it's a lot of points coming off of a day that sold 5%. So the point, what you're gaining here on the options is ridiculous, right? It's just a silly trade to go take because you're just buying on this very strange fear that doesn't actually exist. It's just retail, right? The selling and then opening a few percent lower, just take the trade, right? So, what are you gonna do? I don't know. But you got to take those trades. Another really interesting trade is this TME trade. Now, we talked a little bit about China. Maybe this weekend we're going to be looking to put these on again. We haven't really taken any of these trades in a while. I think this is an interesting trade and also good example of you don't want to overdo it when I do this, when I'm looking for something intraday where the break is happening intraday and then I'm trying to quickly put together sort of an idea, like some sort of pattern, or take advantage of it. I think this is a good example of when it's okay to do so because it's a macro idea of China. It's a chart that we've already been bullish on that's been, it's sort of been consolidating because we were trying to look for the trade and it kept consolidating, right? It's a good example of one where you can get away doing that and take the intraday trade. Not because it wasn't a day trade, but just to push it further. I think it's a good preemptive move. Like I was talking about earlier. Do you really want to wait until you break 28 here to take that trade when this is 5.5% here, right? Obviously, you don't gain the whole 5.5%, but Point being, putting this on early and trying to preempt it for the chance that it moves is more times than not going to be better than not to do it, because yeah, it's gotten rejected each time, but you know how much more you're going to get paid if it does break here, and you're not really losing anything, right? You're not really losing anything. You're not going to go to zero. You're just not going to go to zero here based on what you see. So I think that's another really interesting trade that they don't really happen that often, where you're going, oh shit, there's actually something here. You're going to take advantage of it when you see it, right? So another good example of a trade that, you know what, it doesn't always, it's not always that you're ready for everything. You got to just sometimes think on the spot and say, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna take this trade. It looks good, right? Now, aerospace and defense was like a no-brainer today. We've been already in these positions. We've been buying the pullbacks on all these positions. We're already basically in most of these, and bought even yesterday on some of these trades, which, you know, it's a little, again, we'll go to the GE trade. You know, again, it's a little risky to be buying down here, but there's a lot of reasons why you should be doing so every single time. And sometimes you're going to get stopped out 3-4 times. Maybe you get stopped out 10 fucking times. It doesn't matter. If the idea is there, then you got to keep doing it. GE with a big day today, BA with a big day today. These are, if you're not a part of these trades here, you're missing out on a lot of fucking money. You're missing out on a lot of vacations later. And because it's like a situation where, again, nothing changed, and it's just you're being given a better price point. You're not even doing anything. Like, you're literally not even doing anything. You're doing the same. You're buying the same trade, but it's like 50% cheaper, right? Take those trades, guys. Take those trades. Look at this BA trade, right? Look at this trade. What did you have to do? Did you really have to do anything here? It's the same trade. You just got it for cheaper. You got it for cheaper in the move, right? How do you add more? Right there. That's how you added more. If you're not taking that trade and you weren't already in the trade, then again, that's a good example of you weren't in the trade. You missed a few 100%. Well, there's your new entry to go gain another 100%, right? You gotta take those trades. Now, I mentioned the TIVA chart. There's a ton of bios and everything that I talked about this week was going to be a short-term bio sort of week. So again, the Sava chart, I called about 70 this morning. So 69, you know, hit it with the nice. This from open, as soon as it broke that 55 when I was talking about it, it just instantly put another like 15% on. I think a trade like this, it just sticks out way too much not to go take that. You can be chasing even. It's okay to be chasing a little bit in this situation. It's not the same as just actually coming over here and trying to buy it. If you're buying this early, right? We're talking about in here that I'm talking about it. In anywhere in this candle, this is like, what is this? 6.5%, almost 7% in here. Anywhere in here, you're fine to still be buying here because you have so many buyers. It's a short-term trade. You know it's a day trade. You know you're going to get out of it immediately. It's okay to take those because that's 100%, 200% on not very much money, but it's a very quick trade that you can make, not much risk involved. Taking a trade like that, I think, is also important on a day like today, taking advantage of what's going on. That's a very good trade. Now, FLGT is like a trade that we've already been talking about for a little bit, so this is a little, I don't know if you want to call it short term, but it's the same idea, right? The top of the list here, a lot of these trades are all the same idea. I'm not going to go through them all, but just looking at these trades, it's really just a matter of looking at the chart and knowing it's the chart that you can trade. You can't tell me that if you looked at just these candles here, that there's nowhere in here that you could figure out how to buy it. These are all 15-minute candles. If I put this on 5-minute, you can't tell me that none of this here stands out to you, right? Does none of this stand out at all? This right here is 10%. So this is 10% right here. So take the trades when you got them. What was the other trade? There's some things like DraftKings stuff, retail trades that you obviously could have bought on pullbacks. I mean, if you want to take these trades, then great. Expedia, again, this is the trade we've already been a part of. I talked about this earlier, and I was laughing because as soon as travel started to pick up, when I started to take that like save trade, the airlines, this was already leading, right? We've already been in the Expedia trade for a while now, so I didn't add any more on or anything like that, just keeping the same trade. But the intermediaries and service providers are always leading. They're always leading, and you can always get confirmation of your travel trades. through the intermediary just service providers like Expedia, Tcom, all of these charts, right? If you're not a part of these trades, then what are you doing? Look at this trend. What is that trend? It's just going up, right? There's almost no downside movement whatsoever. Even if you try to look at intraday, yeah, there's a spread. That's it. That's literally just the spread. It's just the spread up the trend, right? You got to be able to take the gain here because that's a lot of points. You were just given a gift. You've been in a trade that's just been trending, not doing much, and then you were given a gift, right? That's it. It's nothing special, but it's fucking a ton of money. It's a ton of money. Some of you could be getting your first 100% trades from just being in a trending trade that's barely doing anything, right? You have to be in position. Tomorrow's going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. Going tomorrow into Friday is going to be some really opportunistic trading because I don't think anyone has any fucking clue what they're doing half the time right now. Based on everything last week with the NASDAQ, no one knows what's going on with the NASDAQ. I'm not touching that shit. It's doing the same move as the rest of the market, so I'll just take my points on what's been working and not try to fuck with the other side. Besides Facebook, besides the Facebook chart, that was a lot of fun. But besides that one, it's just nightmare. It's gross. It's literally gross. One more mention is banks. Banks, energy, these pullback moves. I know some of you were probably watching this today. I was watching the options fluctuate back and forth. I'm guessing it's just retail not knowing what they're doing with banks. If you think that this is dead or not good or something, then again, you're out of your mind. You're going to get... We didn't hear anything about bank buybacks or anything. We didn't hear any dividend shit or anything like that, which is usually a good sign. So... what's stopping this, right? All the news, everything, if you want to be a news fundamental trader, everything was good for banks. It actually was better for banks than expected, right? This is a trend. It's a benchmark that's going to keep moving. Keep watching these benchmarks. Again, energy is number one. It's led the entire market as a sector, 22%, with banks just behind it, right? Don't bet against what's winning, right? I have a lot of things, but let me look at the profit section because some of you guys are getting out of here. Let me look. What do we got here? Met minus 18. Sad face. Break even on the day by Met. Brian, 102. Jesus, I'm dying. Brian, plus 102. David, plus 90. He was down 420 at one point. Interesting number. C Trader, plus $2,230. Just another day at the office for C Trader. Sounds like some of my trades in there. Spoon, 5%. Some longs took a hit. Some less than ideal transitions, but still canned those opportunities when I could. Sounds great, guys. Decent numbers. It sounds like the people that... Let me see. It seems like those of you that have been consistent remain consistent, and then those of you that have been basically break even continue to be break even. Maybe there's a trend there. Maybe you guys are on a bit of a trend. Maybe I'll have to look back and see what people are doing here, and I could probably guess your trades through your P&Ls. Maybe I'll do that some other time. I don't really care right now. What I would say... how can I be critiquing without being a dick? I would say you should have made money today. And I don't mean money as in just unrealized. I mean, some of you probably should have realized some things today. And I don't mean realize like information, but gains. I think today there's just a few too many. I mean, unrealized is fine too if you're pushing it, but I think there's just too many trades today that you could have taken. Like even me just dicking around with some alerts and stuff today. There's more examples than that. There's a lot of examples. If you look through here, a lot of these though offer trades that are just right now. They're right now trades, which is more our style to begin with. It's not so much our style, but where we're best at is being able to get in and out of trades, not in a day trade sense, but sometimes, sure. If you didn't really get the chance to take advantage of some of the moves today, it is going to be hard, I think, the rest of the week. I don't think, if you're not in a position right now, I think it's going to be very hard to get into one tomorrow and Friday, and those of you in position are going to get a fucking payday. again, when you look at this move here, I mean, I hate to keep fucking doing it, but guys, if you're not in this, if you're not a part of this move, how are you ever getting in here? That's the reality. Like some of these trades, how are you ever getting into them? You're just gonna let the market keep going past you for the next fucking year? What if we go on a bull run for 12 years and you're never in the position? You're gonna fucking die an old man without ever being in a position or ever making money. Like, what are you doing? You gotta. I think the biggest thing for all of you is just get into a trade. Just get into a trade. I know it might seem like a lot of money to you, or it might seem like there's nothing you can do and you're not that very good yet. And whatever these things you feel like you want to learn, and you're not going to blow up. I promise you, by taking a trade that you buy at the money, few months out, a couple months out, you're not going to lose all that money. You're not going to. I promise. It's just not going to happen. You know, it's very hard. It's very hard. I always find it funny, and I think there's a lesson to be learned in people that lose a lot of money. You have to try to lose money. You know how hard it is to lose a bunch of money all at once? You have to purposely try to lose all that money by gambling and everything. If you just make a normal... There are differences between a normal trade and then putting a fucking... what these people call lottos and gambling trades. If you buy something at the money 3 months out, you know how fucking hard it is to lose that money? Sometimes that trade won't move for a month. I've seen some June contracts right now that haven't moved since they were written. They haven't moved. Now, that may not seem fun, but that's probably better than than probably not, right? I don't know. I think if you missed things today, then I would look back and see why you didn't take the trades. That would be you didn't gain anything today. You didn't lose anything today. You didn't share. You didn't break even. Nothing. Then I would look at today and look through some of those charts. And if you weren't here for the call, maybe look for some of the things that I mentioned earlier and see why you weren't able to take the trade. And then go look at the options and go tell yourself, wow, I just missed out on a few 100% that I could have got on any amount of money that I put in there, right? A lot of liquid situations. How did I miss this move? How did I miss that move? Again, I just went over some positions. You could have just traded the fucking market. You could have traded the market ETFs. There's a lot of examples. So Met says, I got stopped out of Viacom twice and didn't re-enter the third time. So it's like, if you're trying to make that trade work, and you're willing to get stopped out of that trade, then that's a good example. I'm not talking specifically about you, Met, but for anyone, if you're willing to make that trade, then why the fuck aren't you guys making the other trades? Like, if you're willing to go enter a trade and get stopped out multiple times, then how are you not getting the trades that just are going up, that are not ever losing value? There's options that have not lost value in fucking a month, right? It's those kind of situations that, like, if you're willing to do this, then I'd have to imagine you can do the other trades. Those of you that were trying to bottom tick this with me, and yeah, we fucking bottom ticked it, all right, and we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. Why? It's a fucking mission, right? And it's silly to... There's people out there that are going to be like, oh, let's fucking short it over here. And it's the same people that continue not to fucking understand how markets work and price works. What if it just continues to do what it's been doing? What if the market that's been on a 13-year bull run continues to be on a bull run for another 13 years? What about if you zoom out even further and realize that it's basically been for since the Great Depression, we've been uptrending. Yeah, even the Great Recession was just a blip on the overall market. So again, it's almost silly to try to... You're basically going against 99% of other traders if you're trying to short at every fucking point, right? The perma-bear mentality. But then also to look at a chart like this and to go, you know what? This is probably the fucking top. I'm shorting this shit. I'll sell you the puts. You guys want to buy puts here? I'll sell you the puts, right? But I just want to say, for you, if you're going long, if you're able to make this trade here, then I want you guys to realize that if you can do that, then you can do any of these. You can do this trade. You could have made this trade then. If you're willing to go buy where that was on Viacom, then you can make this trade, and you can stick with this trade and push through, right? This here is a couple 100%. This is a couple 100%. If you can do that Viacom trade, then you can do this trade here. You know what this trade is here? I think I saw some contracts for 1,000% in there. This was 33% in a week on the biggest airline there is. Again. Fucking again. Again. We did it again. Right? We just did that. If you guys are able to do it once, you can do it again. It's about doing it consistently and not fucking picking when and where you're going to do it. You have to consistently do it, or else it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you do it once, because you're going to give it back. You'll just give it back, right? You have to be willing to do that in every situation on the charts that are bullish, right? What about X? How did you, again, every time we've taken this trade, it's because we know the chart's bullish. Did you take advantage of this here? I mean, it was almost too clear from the start, but even if you didn't get it from open, there's examples like this, right? Again, I think the travel trade today was a good one, aerospace and defense. But again, the Dow trade, just the overall market, understanding the overall market, and then the fact that the whole market went up anyway, not going well. You know, things could be really bad. Powell could crash the market, and it could be really bad. Some of you are still memeing about the fact that the market could crash and that Powell's going to do something, or that the market's going to go down and we're all going to fucking... And you guys have taken the joke and the meme, and it's become literally your reality. You're like in fucking limbo on memes. Like, some of you are legit on limbo in memes, and you can't fucking get out of it, and you think it's a joke. But some of you, your entire trading is based off of these memes, and you can't fucking stop yourself. And guess what? You're never going to make money, and you're going to keep paying me money every single day. Besides the $80 a month you pay me, you're going to keep going into option chains, and you're going to keep trying to do the contrarian thing to what I've said and what the market's doing, and you're going to keep blowing through fucking money, and you're never going to make money. You're going to be poor the whole rest of your life, eating fucking Hot Pockets, however much you said they were. Maybe you got to go to ramen. Those of you that are still doing that, find out what you got to fucking do. Whether it's you need to shut up and stop talking about the memes and everything else, and stop reading bullshit, and stop trying to be funny and cute and stuff. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You know who you are. Stop doing it and fucking take advantage of what's in front of you. Because again, you guys keep missing what's in front of you, and you're never getting it back. You're never getting the opportunity back. And the next opportunity may be fucking harder. It may be difficult because someone else just learned how to finally figure it out. Matt just said he entered twice. That's twice more than he entered the last time. So maybe the next time Matt re-enters the trade and squeezes you out of the position, right? It's always going to get harder, and it's always going to, again, price doesn't stop, right? Price doesn't stop. Some of you just got to, you know, if you want to make money, then do it. Be serious. Do it. You know, stop trying to, I don't know, force silly fucking ideas and your own opinion on things when you have no fucking clue what you're talking about to begin with, right? You're just memeing with other people. Remove all that, and if you want to make money, then fucking do it. Start looking at charts and start taking it a little bit more, you know, it can be fun and silly, right? But it's when you're not making money, it's not so funny anymore. And you're trying to cover it up with bad intentions and bad excuses. There's good excuses and bad excuses. I'm fine losing money on a trade that I was confident on, and then I saw the signs, and it may not work out, and I'll react to the market. Maybe I'll learn something from it. But it's when you're like just making dumb trades all the time, and then you're trying to like short the market in places, and then buy things when they're terrible, and thinking like, well, there's like a 1% chance this could work, and if I do get it, then I'm going to be making a lot of money. But you put like $200 behind the trade. So how are you ever going to make fucking money? If you put a few $100s behind a trade and it made 10,000%, you're still fucking poor. So what are you talking about, right? That's where every single day it needs to be consistent, and it's gonna take fucking time, right? But until you have like $100,000, until you have $100,000 to trade with, you're gonna be fucking poor. And you're never, I told people this last year, and I told some good friends this last year that wanted to, I know I'm going on like a spiel and stuff, but I'm just into it now. I talked about this last year when COVID happened, because people were losing their jobs and trying to quit, and they look to the market, and you look at opportunity there, right? And everyone wants to quit their jobs all of a sudden. The reality is that even the best traders are making 50%, 50% is a fucking gift if you can make that in a year on your portfolio. 50% is a shit ton of money. But guess what? You make 50,000 a year on the average is 50,000 a year for a salary. That would mean you need to make 50% on $100,000 of trading, $100,000 account that the whole thing is in the market all the time. How often do you have $100,000 in the market every day? How often does you have the whole thing into the market every day? Very rarely. So it's going to be very hard to even squeeze out 50% of that, right? And so you're going to need more money than that. So again, it's like if you don't do it every day, and it's only like every now and then you get some dumb trade that you make and you think that's going to make money, it's not how it works. And I think we've through the stream, we're here every day staying disciplined, but you see it. You have to take each of those and build on it every day. And it's not that, it's one trade is all it takes, but it's that one trade all the fucking time, right? You have to do it all the time and make those trades all the time. And it's not just some silly trade because it's just never going to work like that, right? It takes so much work that's why I say some people just fucking stop. You're wasting time. Like some people just waste time, and they're the people that they stop, right? But some people are in denial, right? I don't see anyone in the call right now, but we have had people, and there are people that are just in fucking denial. Never going to make money. Don't have the time. Too busy working. Never going to look at charts. If you can't do it, then you're not going to do it. You can't read fucking headlines. Some of you learned today that you can't read headlines. You can't read Twitter. How is that ever going to help? There's no shortcut. How is reading a headline or do you think that the information you're getting is other people don't see it, right? People post those things on Twitter and stuff of I don't know, information that came out early, or it's on the Bloomberg, or it's on a dark, in the dark pool or something. Do you think that everyone else doesn't see that and doesn't know that, right? You're going to be able to get into a trade before everyone else. There's a million trades going back and forth on every single one of these tickers every single day. Is there really that fucking many surprises, right? It's just being consistent. So again, there's no shortcut. It's just, you got to keep working hard. And a day like today is such a great confirmation of that hard work. When you get fucking paid on a day like today, those are people that didn't, people that lost money, again, just got confirmation that what they're doing is wrong, but they're not acknowledging it. And that's where we can acknowledge, is that a lot of the market's still wrong. They're actually they just don't know. They keep making bonehead trades because we're getting confirmation of their mistakes while getting confirmation of our success, right? And we continue to make things work day after fucking day. We're not going to stop until we stop making money. When we start paying someone else, then we'll get out of the trades, right? So that's what I got for a spiel. Dow 34K. It was a meme. Now it's a dream. Or it was a dream and now it's a meme. But it's fucking reality. And it's not, you can't trade with memes, right? You can't trade with memes. The next 2 days are going to be fucking wild, guys. Again, this whole squeeze thing that's happening, I think you saw it with the movement today. That movement today where you see instant pricing should scare some of you because, again, if you're not in a position, you're going to need to take advantage of some of the moves happening, but it's going to be very difficult. You're talking big spreads. Those of you that don't like wide spreads, you're going to have to fight through wide spreads tomorrow and Friday. Friday's going to be a fucking nightmare. I already know it. I already know I'm going to have a hard time myself trying to figure out I have a lot of unrealized gains from today. I'm already having a hard time trying to figure out how I hold through take profit tomorrow. Now, I don't expect a lot of take profit tomorrow on the value side, maybe more on the tech side, but then that makes Friday really difficult because how are we buying more on it's just kind of, we need to be full risk on it. It's going to be difficult, I think. So again, if you're in position, you're going to be well set up because it's going to be hard to re-enter, and you're going to have to take trades that are not going to feel good on Friday, I think. I already know I'm going to be taking some that don't feel good. Like even trying to convince myself that China play. I bought fucking Baba calls today. That shit felt terrible, right? It just feels bad because there's something wrong with it. But you got to, the percent's there, the risk reward's there to take it, but it's not a very good risk reward. But that's what's there, right? Not that you have to always take a trade. So definitely look at your charts tonight. I would look through short-term patterns and stuff. I have a lot on there. There was a lot of bullish moves today. So
Definitely try to stay focused. Don't read too much today. Again, don't read headlines and shit. These people don't know what they're fucking talking about, guys. They get paid like 40 grand a year. The analysts, they have no clue. Don't read that shit. It's just bad. Like it's just bad. I read some of the stuff today on Bloomberg. It's terrible. It's just terrible because they don't understand up or down on bonds. No one understands it's just, and it doesn't. It's more that it's just chaotic right now, right? So it's just chaotic, and so you have to just kind of weed through the bullshit. The only thing that's not bullshit is price, right? It's the only thing that's not. So stick with that. Again, it's fucking working, guys. Don't go against what's working. I'll see you in the morning. Today was a lot of fun. Honestly, I had so much fucking fun today. I think you guys had fun this morning. I will see you in the morning. Enjoy your night, your morning, your evening, wherever you are. And until then.